Hey everybody, what's up? It's Tipping the Scales. I'm your girl, LaShayla, aka Shea Dawson.
Oh, that's different. I was waiting for you to say aka Shea. Why does she mess me up for every intro? I can't
Every
stand
time.
every
You just-
time.
Every time.
I fall for it every time. And I am Tania, also known as T. What is up, tippers? How's everyone living their lives? Hope you're living
Man,
your best life. I hope that.
T, people have been tuning in
I know.
wherever they get their podcasts.
I'm
and
too
I'm just like so
excited.
hype about it. I'm
Right?
hyped about it. Like I can't.
Yeah.
We've been working for this for so long,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like we're in 90 plus episodes and like it's actually starting to really trickle in.
happening.
Ooh.
It's exciting. What's been going on in your world? What's new and exciting? What's up with LaShayla, aka Shea Dawson? What's going on with her?
Went to I'm Athlete live taping podcast last night
Ooh.
to watch my friend Brandon Marshall.
Hey, Brandon.
Hey Brandon. You were so dope last night.
You are
And
dope.
you were dope in your Amiri outfit. He was so hype about his outfit.
Oh, can we pull up a picture of his outfit? Make sure we check
definitely
that out.
We definitely will because he was so hype about it.
All right.
Just got to talk to him afterwards and talk about like the style of the show and was telling him a little bit about just what I'm doing at Tipping the Scales and Title League. And so he thought that was super dope. But yeah, it was like him, Pac-Man Jones, this guy named Lou. He's a comedian. He also played in the NFL as well. He was hilarious. And then Cam Newton also came on. And so that was like a very organic conversation. So it was dope to just see another podcast live.
Yeah.
Because it just inspired me. And I just was thinking about us and like what we're going to be doing. So yeah.
Yeah. And it's something about, and we pride ourselves to do this on our podcast is something very real and special when you allow yourself to be vulnerable and you're being authentic. It really resonates well with our listeners. So we're going to continue down that journey. So shout out to Brandon. Hope everything went well. Can't wait to see your outfit, bro.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I'm just trying to tap into, I just met with my HR senior leadership team yesterday. We were talking about, preparing for 2023, getting your mindset and ready and looking at, what goals you want to accomplish for the first quarter of next year. Like you're always thinking a quarter ahead, right? So I encourage all of you at the sound of my voice, or if you're listening on YouTube or you're watching on YouTube, like let's start to think ahead on what your overarching goals are for 2024. 2023. Damn, I'm jumping all the way to 2024.
And I'm over here like,
2023. And then break them down on what you want to accomplish per quarter. It just helps you take them into little easy bite-sized pieces, make them digestible a little bit. So you're not looking at this big, long to-do goal list. But if you break them down per quarter, you can achieve them. So figure out what you want to accomplish in the first quarter of 2023 and start to prepare for that. So that's the messaging I had with my team yesterday. And that's some of the things that I'm doing right now in my personal life. So, for me, I'm like, always want to switch things up from a health perspective, like working on the best version of me. Like I'm 45 years old. I want to still look like I'm 25 forever. Okay. So
you've never looked over the 30. So it's like, stop.
Thank you. But in order to do that, I have to take care of me. So I'm always trying to look at ways how I can take better care of myself, especially, when I was remember I was on the road for like 4 weeks straight. Like I had all these bags and everyone's like, why do you have like 5 suitcases? I'm like, because I've been on the road for like ever, for like 5 weeks.
Yeah.
So, I felt like I gained a couple pounds because I'm staying in hotels. And although I'm still exercising and trying my best to eat healthy, it's so much you can do when you're eating. Every one of your meals is coming out from eating out for over a month. So I've not feel like my best self. So I signed up for a new trainer next week. It comes with a nutritionist too. So they'll email me every day about, and I have to tell them what I'm eating and all that good stuff. So I'm very excited about that. And that's kind of like my first quarter goal is to, be better committed even when I'm on the road to my health. So that's what's up in T's world.
Go ahead, T. I can't wait to see it because I know you're going to stick to it. You're very diligent in those areas. So.
Thank you. I was watching some movie yesterday I can't even remember. It was called. It was like it was on Netflix, and it was
Love me some
it's
Netflix,
about
even though
a female boxer, but her sister was taken into like trafficking, women trafficking, which is horrible because it still happens in our world today.
mhm.
And she went undercover, kind of like to endure to find her sister. I won't tell the movie because it's a good movie. In case you haven't watched it, I won't tell how it ends. But I was just inspired by her body. It was insane. She was a
Oh,
boxer, but it's something about boxers. They have their bodies are fierce. Like, and her stomach was ripped. Her arms were like ripped. I was like, personal trainer,
you were like, "I
hello.
need that body."
Okay, I'm coming for that body, girl. I'm coming for that. And I
Man,
too,
I was
and look, I'm not too ashamed I'm going to do all I can to do it the right way. But if a sister needs to lay on that table and do a little nipping and tucking and lifting, go for it.
I feel you, I
Okay.
feel you. I'm here for it, I'm here for it. Do what you gotta do. I
Do what you
know
got to do.
I need to get more consistent as well, but I did look at my tan the other day and I was like, "Yes."
Yeah,
When I was younger,
yeah.
I hated getting a tan because I didn't wanna be darker because, little boys used to make fun of you, call you Blackie and all kinds of stuff, right?
Shame.
So, I had a POV this morning was like, "Yes, to be in this age, in this body, I'm proud of
Yes.
my tan today." So, I feel
Okay.
you getting inspired by what you see.
Wait, they laugh at me because I'm too pumped about my tans. Like, because I just came back from
Oh
Arizona
my god, I
on
love my tan, like,
Sunday and I got
I'm
nice
dying.
and bronzed. Like I'm loving my bronze.
Me too.
I'm here for that. So your tan looks great. Look at us
Thank
all
you.
bronzed and
You
all
know,
succulent and
glowing and shit.
glowing. My forehead is like super glow. I'm trying to figure out why my forehead is so
It's
shiny.
not, it's just a reflection of the computer.
Oh,
Not you're not
guys.
glowing.
All right. My forehead feels like it's like well,
It's
plus I
not.
have you know what happens when you pull all your hair back into like cornrows in the front? It's
Yep.
like you're
It's
all
like the
face.
tip of the spear
You're
is always on, like, display.
like all face. So listen, something that's been near and dear to my heart lately that I always got to tap in with my good sister Shea, aka LaShayla, is how are you showing up and your relationships, right? And I'm not talking about just your partner, like every single one of your relationships, because
Like, strengthening them.
yeah, like how are
Mhm.
you showing up? Like how are you showing up as a colleague? How are you showing up as a lover? How are you showing up as a parent if you are one? How are you showing up as a daughter, son? How are you showing up? Period. Even if you're not binary, whoever you are, how are you showing up for other people? And I think that's something that is important. And as we look ahead and we talk about that preparation, for
Mhm.
2023, one of those goals should be to strengthen your relationships. And I think we should tap in a little bit into that today, because I think it's so important to be the best version of yourself, not just for yourself, but for others.
I like that. I would say one thing I do know is that you can't strengthen anything and you can't show up any kind of
Mhm.
way if you don't do it for yourself.
Mm.
So I would say that's kind of
Start
the
with
work,
you.
right? That's
Yep.
the work I've been doing. And that's the work I encourage others to do. And I know when I'm exhausted or I feel like I'm doing the most in the relationship, maybe being the most consistent in calling or most consistent in talking. I'm texting, I get burnt out. And then I don't show up as I normally do, right? With my rainbows and sunshine, my
Yeah.
cheeriness, if I feel like I'm the only one doing the output.
Yeah.
And so the reason why I have to like start to focus on myself because I'm like, oh my God, I'm getting that burnout again. So I got to take care of that because you don't know the other person's story as well.
Yeah.
And so it's like, if I can control what I can control, meaning if I'm feeling burnout, I need to communicate, hey, I'm feeling a little burnout. I'm going to take some time. I'm going to be doing my own thing. That way
Yeah.
that person knows. And that way I'm not showing up in a way that's irritated. I'm not saying my snappy responses because when I get like that, people get weirded out because that's not normally how I show up.
Right. That's
So
that's shocking
that's my first,
actually.
yeah, exactly. So for the first step for me and what I'm learning as I get older is, and your patience is a little bit different when you get older than when you're younger. Like I also no longer tolerate certain things in my life or the
Hell
way
yeah.
that, right, that relationships are going. Like I'm very, very intentional about it being a reciprocal, healthy exchange. And if it's not, I will like fade out. And so that's what I'm working on. And that's my step one of strengthening is I got to strengthen myself and I got to check myself. And then that way I can give and be better and show up better. So that's like my
Yeah.
step one.
Yeah, so let's
What
dive
about you?
into now. I want to dive into that a little bit in terms of step one, because I
Yeah.
literally just started with you can't help others unless until you got to take care of you. You got to take care of you first. So
Right.
I think for me is um, I am very very impatient. The
Hmm.
older I get, the impatient I become, and
Yep.
I don't know what is wrong, but it's like I have a very short. Uh, I think just a leash. Like it's just like
Yep.
I want things done when I want them done. And I have to understand. And, I tell myself, kind of slow down a little bit, Tania. Like, everything is not about you when you want things. Like, you're going to have to exercise some level of patience in your
Hmm.
life. So, I've been trying to be very intentional about taking a pause and being intentional.
Good for
And
you.
and I think it's just important because I don't ever wanna come across as you ever know that person who's just you're like, "What is up with them? Why do they just
Why
need
are they
to,
so tight?
like,
Like,
relax?"
yeah,
And
exactly. Why are they so tight?
right? And that has been, I think, a problem for me in the past is just, I've learned to relax so much, but, when I think back 10 years ago, I was told before that I'm just so uptight and I have no sense of humor. And I was like, "Oh, wow, like that's serious. Okay, I don't," and that's how I'm showing up.
Mm. Yeah.
Sometimes perception is reality, right? And
Right. Right.
I
Even though
don't
that's not you, that's how you're
right.
showing up.
And I
Hmm.
didn't want to be perceived that way. So I had to do
Yep.
some real work to take a pause and look within myself and say, okay, how am I showing up to other people? If they're, like I'm fun as hell, like people who hang out with me, we have a very too much fun.
Correct.
So if I'm
Correct.
showing up uptight, then that's what I'm manifesting when I am not when I'm feeling like when I'm short or when
Hmm.
I'm not the best version of myself. So I kind of learned from that. And that's the work I've been doing over the years is just to be more relaxed, not being so uptight, learning how to enjoy life because I think, going back to, shoot, 10, 15 years ago, life was different. We talked
Yeah.
about the struggles in life and living paycheck to paycheck and
Hmm.
trying to make ends meet and all those other things. Like, so sometimes when you're under a lot of pressure, um, how you show up is going to be different because that's where
Yeah.
your mindset
Tightly
is,
wound.
right?
Yeah.
And okay, and it's very hard to sometimes for me, because I only can speak for myself, sometimes it's hard to just enjoy and relax and settle into life when you have so many pressures and so many things pulling you into different directions. So I learned that, okay, prioritize the things that are important.
Right.
Understand that, and this was such a lesson learned for me is that those struggles and those things that may seem impossible at the time, they're just it's not going to last forever.
Yep.
It's an experience that is going to be short-lived, but when you're in it, it doesn't feel that way. It feels like, "Holy shit, this is real, this is hard, I
Yeah.
want out." But just settle into it. Remember, it's those things that in life that we, maybe our big challenges that's going to strengthen us for tomorrow. So, those challenges that to shape us to who we are, those, I talk about loving those calluses on my fingers because it's like it makes me feel like I'm really working out, although I should
Oh
just
my
wear some
God.
although I
My
should just
girl
wear some
Anna said the same thing the other day.
oh no.
She said the same thing at the office. She's like, look at my callus. And I was like,
Hey, it's like, no, all you gotta do is wear some gloves, boo. Stop. You don't have to have those
but it's,
calluses.
hey, I love it.
But it reminds me of the
It
work.
reminds
So
you.
that's why
Hmm.
shout out to your girl, because that's reminds me of the work that I put in when I see those calluses on my hands. And that's what those tough times do. It
Right.
hardens the skin, it hardens the body, it hardens the mind to help you prepare to be the better version of yourself.
And
So
reminds, which is, I think the key word there is when you look at it, it reminds you of the progress. It reminds you of the output. So
yeah.
I think that's dope.
Yeah.
And I love that. I think that all makes sense. And I'm absorbing some of that. I need to get some of that. and
Yeah.
do some of that. And I would say the step 2 for me too, when it comes to strengthening your relationships or being intentional about them and how I'm showing up, I have to do inventory of who I'm relating with,
Mm,
who I'm allowing in my space, who
for
I'm
sure.
conversing with, right? Because our personalities, you and I are very similar.
Mhm.
We deposit a lot in other people's banks. And sometimes
We need
people be trying to,
deposits.
you know what I'm saying? They be
Okay?
trying to withdraw. And it's like, you
Yeah.
haven't deposited anything over here. So you keep trying to withdraw and there's nothing,
Please take your
right?
ATM out. Thank you very
Boop,
much. Okay?
thanks, right? And so I think too, we have to start being more intentional. And I'm telling you
100%.
this too,
Yeah.
because I know
I
we
need to
both
hear it.
need reminders
Yeah.
that we can only at this level where we're at, because we're continuing to build this momentum. And once you start building momentum in a certain area, like when tipping the scales takes off like a rocket ship, we're not going to have time to be putting together other pieces and doing all this and coaching and doing all that. We need to make sure that the people that are in our lives are for us and depositing daily as much as we're depositing to them. And
Yeah.
so I think just taking that inventory so that it is what's understood doesn't need to be said, doesn't need to be stated.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? You know, if I'm like, people just know, like when I'm with you, I'm either taking a picture or I'm like doing tea, fix your hair. Like I just know how my boo want to show up.
That's right.
So you never have to coach me on how to be in your life. You know, there's certain people that never have to coach me because I always have your best interest. I'm for you. So people who deposit a lot, I need to start getting those people and recognizing and feeling and bringing them in and being like, we're for each other. This is a reciprocal exchange. That way it's less stress on me and it's just more of like, we just know that we're here to show up for each other. So I think
Yeah.
taking inventory of who you're actually
I,
spending
I
time on.
I love that, Shay. And I think part of taking that inventory is making sure that others understand your expectations right up front.
Mm,
Because
boom.
oftentimes Shay just talked about how we're just like we're givers. That's just who we are naturally inclined to be.
Yep.
And we talk about others just, we are constantly giving, that others need to know what we need. Others need to know what deposits that we require right
Yes.
up front. So
Ooh.
there's no level of ambiguity that you're unsure. Like, let me make it very clear and plain to you so that you understand my expectations right up front. And that's for every single person, every relationship. That's your
Mm-hmm.
employer. They know your
Mm-hmm.
expectations. That's your significant other. They know what
Mm-hmm.
you expect out of them. That's your family members, because sometimes our
Mm-hmm.
family members can be draining because they're used to us just giving, giving, giving. And what that giving can be financially, it can be of your time, it can be a lot of different things. But at the end of the day, it's still pulling from you. So when
Correct.
we talk about those deposits, we need others to know what we need and ensure that they're giving us what we need. So it's a twofold. Relationships are what they say. Um, it's a you give, I give type of situation.
Yeah.
And we just have to make sure that it's happening. And it's not about, because I heard this before too. And I want to make sure we clear this up right now.
Okay. Uh-huh.
Because when I said that before to someone, I said, hey, this is getting out of control. Like, all I'm doing is giving. Like, how are you showing up for me? You know, I don't require a lot, but I do require some of your time. And when I said that, it was like, oh, you're being tick for tat. It's like, no, I am not. Just because you have expectations and you need those deposits, it's not being tit for tat. It's demanding what you need and putting yourself first. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Oh, I love that. I love that. And I had tweeted the other day too, like the people who call you and immediately they don't ask you how you're doing or anything. They just start talking about themselves and what they need.
Right?
And you look at the phone and you're like, you called me to do this? Like, like, I don't understand. So like those kind of people, I'm just more of like phasing out because
Mhm.
it's like, I don't even feel the need to have to draw a boundary there. Like if I know, I'm like, Shay, why have you been putting up with that for so long? So just even questioning myself on like,
Yeah.
someone asked me for money last night, and this person I've deposited many,
Hmm.
many hundreds in their Cash App. And I continue to feel bad because I'm like, I know they don't got it.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, is it okay for them to continue to ask me? Because if they don't have it, they're going to continue to ask me. So what I did was what I did before they asked me for this last little chunk of change was I was like, write me a business plan on what you're doing and I will help invest in
I
your,
literally was thinking, teach
right?
them how to fish opposed to giving them the fish.
Yes.
Teach them how to go out and get the fish
Yeah.
because
So
that's what's
they
going to
make
fix it.
food, they make
Yeah.
plates. So I was
Oh,
like, you
what a
if
great
you,
analogy.
I was like, if you show me that you're trying to do this business, I will help you do that.
Yeah.
And they didn't come through on that. And then next thing you know, I get a DM asking, and I'm like, I started to type, and then I didn't respond because I'm like, I don't know what to respond. I don't want to be mean because it's not their fault, but I'm also like, it's not fair to me
No.
that you consistently ask me for money, but then that's the only time we talk.
No. Because now I'm starting
You
to feel
know?
like I'm being used. And
Yeah.
let me tell you something. That's when
And
I shut
that
down.
just,
I
thank
shut
you.
down.
That
When I
just
feel like I'm being
really,
used, I shut down because there's some level of appreciation needs to come with my giving, no matter what that looks like. And if I'm not feeling appreciated, I'm feeling like you're only calling me. Again, we're talking about those deposits. You're not calling me to check in and say, hey, T, how are you doing? How's life? How's your son? How's your brother? How's your mom? So you know the people who are important in my life. And if you're not checking in and you're only calling me with an expectation that I'm giving you money, then no bueno. That's
yeah.
when you get shut down for sure.
Yeah. So annoying. But I like that you said check in. So last night when I was at I Am Athlete, they started the show with checking in. And they
Yeah.
were teaching and just exposing other Black men. There were Black women were there too, but Black men we know probably don't check in this way all the time. So they were saying, okay, we're checking in. How are you feeling mentally? 1 to
Yeah.
10. Business wise, 1 to 10. Relationships, 1 to 10. And emotionally. And they all went in on they gave their numbers and then, how they felt. And it was really beautiful. So I think that's also important too, is like having people to check in with you.
I
And
love
maybe we should
that.
start checking in a lot more.
Yep. So listen, you're reading my mind. That sister brain that we always have, because step 3, I was going to say is, all right, now when you're talking about what you need for you, being
Yeah.
the best version of yourself so you can show up strong for others, it's like, okay,
Yep.
how do you show up for others? And the first thing is in terms of that checking in, that quality time that you give to
Yeah.
others is so important. So when I think about my mom, when I think about, okay, what relationships do I need to strengthen? Like my mom is my best friend. So I feel
Yep.
like we have a very strong relationship. I know you have the same
Yep.
with your mom. Hi, Miss Lori, love you. I love how
Love you.
she's always like posting, and she's one of our tippers. We love her. She's an
Oh,
active tipper.
we got to get Antonio
Um,
on social media.
and please, well, I'm a byproduct of her. If her the younger version of Antonia don't love social media,
That's
and
what I'm trying to say.
she's like 10 times worse than me. You're like, it's
She needs Shea to
exhausting.
stop by. That's all. I got Lori on it. I'm going to get Antonio on it
All
too.
right, that's our mission for 2023. But
Okay.
how I said, okay, what do I need to do? Because what happens is I'm busy as hell. I'm
Mm.
traveling a lot. I'm never home. And then I'm not spending enough time with my mom. Like she's not seeing me.
Ooh, me
So
too.
I was like, okay, when I look ahead for 2023 and I want to strengthen relationships, it starts with the person who brought me into this world, my girl, my Antonia. I'm going to start ensuring
Yeah.
that I spend more time with her and being very intentional about it. So I said, okay, I need to make sure I'm going to literally put it on my calendar because my calendar
Mm.
is like my roadmap, my compass. So I'm going to put it on my calendar and make time to say, okay, I'm blocking off this Saturday. I'm going to take my mom to lunch. I'm going to take her to see a show. I'm going to take her to see a play. Like I could do
Yeah.
more for my mom in the terms of spending time with her so that she knows that she's important. There's no better gift than a gift of time.
Yep. But we got to take our moms to that Sade concert I was telling you about.
Oh, let's do that
Um,
together. We should look into
yeah,
that.
we
You
should
know
look into
what?
that.
I will. That will be my Christmas gift for all of you guys. So I'll find me and I'll get us good tickets.
Oh, I
Yeah.
love
Yeah.
you. Okay, cool.
Happy
Okay.
holidays.
I know you're such a good gift giver, and I'm also working on my receiving of gifts. So, like, I'm not going to fight you on that.
some new age shit right there. Talk about so she working
Yeah,
on her being a better recipient, better
I
receiver.
am.
Bye,
I
girl.
am. I told you that last episode, not last episode, maybe 3 episodes ago,
Bye,
is that I'm usually
girl.
like the strong one, like, no, it's okay. It's okay.
She's like,
It's
gimme,
okay.
gimme, gimme, gimme.
So this is the manifestation of a soft life, okay?
Okay.
It is letting those who want to curate for you or provide you with an experience. And so
You're
yes, I'm
you're
letting you
ready
know.
for that experience. Okay, so Sade for the mommies and for us, like let's
Yes.
find them those tickets. Send me the
Okay.
link and I got us. Happy holidays. Okay, so we're gonna show up tippers. We're all going
Happy
to agree.
holidays.
We're all going to agree that we're going to at least pick one person, and it should be others, but let's start with one and build up. One person that we can identify that we need to spend more time with, and we're going to be very intentional about just because we can always say things, but we got to put it to action because
Yep.
Shay and I said this before that when you say the word love and like and adore, like those are action words. You can't just say
Action.
love. You got to, how do you show up and show love, right? So it's like, all right, I'm going to be intentional about spending that time. And also, too, I was thinking, step 4 is how asking for feedback. So,
Ooh,
right? So I do.
that hurt.
Right? Getting that
Working on
feedback.
yourself. That's really working
Because
on
that is
yourself.
no joke. Because when you open up that box, honey, people are like, you, blah, 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 blah. You're like,
And you're like,
what?
I didn't
Right.
know
So
it.
a while ago, I was going to do this with I probably have like 8 or 9 direct reports at this point, but, and they have teams under, beneath them.
Under them? Yeah.
And I said, okay, a while ago, I used to do, I don't know if you heard start, stop, continue as a way of getting feedback, but now I'm going to do that with not just my direct reports. I'm going to start to reintroduce that into my one-on-ones. I started with one of my, first person on my team. Shout out to Sheena. She's my VP of Learning and Development. Hey, girl, she's good.
Love that title.
Yep, to Sheena, but she goes by Sheena. And she is an amazing L&D expert. But I said, hey, I'm starting with you. I'm going to my start, stop, continue. So, how it works is you say, okay, we're going to do the start, stop, continue. Start is what are some things that we should start in our relationship doing that we're not doing today? What are some things that are not working that we should stop that is causing roadblocks for our success? And then continue. What are some things that we should continue to do that's working well? So that's my start, stop, continue. And I'm going to introduce that. I've done it before with my direct reports, but now in other companies, but now I'm going to reintroduce that to my current direct reports. I'm also going to introduce it into my personal life with my relationships.
Floored.
Start, stop, continue.
What are some things that we should start?
That we're not doing.
What are some things that we should stop?
Yes.
And what are some things we should continue?
That's working well, right? Because not everything is bad. There are some things that are great that we should continue. Yeah.
Talk about a life rubric. Talk about a roadmap. I love that, T. I don't even got anything to add after that. That was, I'm over here thinking like, ooh, who am I going to do that with next?
Start with Nafis. That's my little brother.
Yeah.
Nafis, I want to update too, because I know you're one of our tippers. We love you. You advocate for us. You're always helping us behind the scenes in so many different ways with getting guests on.
I know.
Right? Oh, so
talent acquisition.
Yeah. So step 5, already think about it. We'll end it on this note, is telling others thank you is showing a level of appreciation to other people. Bam. Right?
Boom.
So how are
Simple, but yes.
So we'll start with you, Feast. Thank you for being an amazing tipper. Thank you for helping us. You've done so many things that people just don't know in terms of like booking space for our live episodes, in terms of finding amazing guests like Dr. Polite, our sex extraordinaire genius, who's a sex therapist. Like that was all you. And we appreciate you in so many different ways because you help us
honey.
behind
the
scenes.
You so much.
So thanks for being an amazing brother and amongst all things to Shea.
Literally. God, I don't know what I did to deserve it, but
yeah,
he's amazing. So
you're amazing.
Thanks for that too.
So tippers, let's make sure that we are thanking those and showing appreciation for the people in our lives when you're talking about strengthening relationships, a big component of that is appreciation. It goes a
Yep.
long way. When people know that you appreciate them, you could just say, thank you. You could say, I see you. I appreciate you. I need you. Those things just resonate so well with others. And it almost like sparks them. Remember those
Yeah.
back in the day, you used to give people, I don't know if they do it anymore, give people jumps. You put the little cables on the
Yeah, people
battery.
do it. I did it the other
Oh,
day.
okay.
Yeah.
I got an electric car. I don't know. I don't do that stuff. But
Here we go again. Here we go again. Now she wants to be an electric car snob. It's like, I
oh
can't
my
with her.
God. I'm an orgasm snob. I was another snob you called me yesterday. I can't even remember.
You're lots of snobs. What are you talking about?
And now I'm an electric car snob. But
And
no.
it's like, because I have an electric car, but like, do people like jump cars?
I can't even. But
Get the
listen,
freak out of here, girl.
but stop.
Antonia, get your girl. Get your
Stop
girl.
making me laugh. What I'm trying to say is be those jumper cables to someone else. Like
That
you're
she don't
gonna
have.
give-
Don't be talking about
I don't
jumper
have
cables
jumper-
if you don't have. Then you need to put an equivalent because you over
Why
here giving
do I need-
advice
Okay,
when
fine.
you wouldn't know what it's like for us regular gasoline cars.
Wait
okay?
a minute. I had a gasoline car for a gazillion years, and I had
What do you do? So if you just pull into the station and like they'll lift your hood for you with a remote control, boop, like I don't know what your comparison is, but us
the
jumper cables
comparison
over here.
is like go to a Tesla charging station and you press the button on your car that opens up, and then you just stick it in, and it charges your car. It's like giving a little electric boost to, and that's what you have to do for other people. Shut up, Shea.
No, but you're right. You're right. Oh, I love you guys. I love
we
you,
love
T.
you. Thank you,
Man.
tippers. And speaking of appreciation, Shea started with this at the beginning of this episode. We are growing, and all of the love that we are getting right now would not be possible if it wasn't for you. So thank you, thank you, thank you for continuing to tune into us, listening to our episodes, going on YouTube, and showing us some love on the gram. All those things that you're doing, we appreciate them from the bottom of our hearts. So thank you, and check us out.
Yeah,
Check
and
the
leave
girls
us
out.
some reviews on Apple and Spotify. That really, really also helps us too. I know we stopped a little bit, but if you have some time,
Yeah.
I know it's like pulling teeth, but if you have a little bit, give us a review. 2
Couple
words,
seconds.
3
Yeah.
words, couple sentences. We love
60 seconds. You got it in you. It's a lot of seconds in a day.
it. Yep.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. Bye.